go for Sunday.
So you just kick after jury duties, you come in, they set up.
Correct. Yes.
And he'll be on the fly if it's all good for the game.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
And just checking because of if it did go along.
Well, this happens all the time. So I mean, no big deal.
What time does your charter get back in after the game on?
After the game?
Yeah.
In time for him to get back to jury duty. So.
He can't kick his way out of jury duty.
Say again?
Can't kick his way out of jury duty.
Hey, just when you think you've seen it all in this league, you got something else to deal with.
Clarence Silly also else. I guess I'll do the obligatory injury questions today with the jury duty. Michael, what did you see from them yesterday? And you see more of him and Bland and Kendricks and those guys?
Yeah, Mike is improving. He'll be part of the rehab group today. We don't have him set for reps. Deron Bland, same deal. I think we're going to try to work him into practice. Eric did a good job yesterday. It was supposed to be more rehab into practice, so we're going to try to give him a few more reps today. So all those guys are making progress.
Mike, Todd Archer, the ESPN. John Stevens with his knee. How disappointed do you feel for him to have to go through this?
Very disappointed. I think to a man, you just could feel, the energy, sucked out of practice at that moment. So cannot say enough about him. You talk about a young man with a very bright future, and this is just another setback, unfortunately. But just the work that he put in, he's here every day. Did everything that was asked of him, and frankly was, we were trying to get him more work. We actually were coming out of the bye week. We had plans to try to get him more involved. So it was a very unfortunate injury yesterday.
When you look at all the stuff since the Detroit game that's kind of happened and didn't even play a game, I realize it's all off the field stuff, but is it ever just kind of like, when is enough? When you think of the jury duty, injury, guy getting hurt in practice, the jury radio stuff, all that.
I just think it's part of our industry. Injuries that are clearly the worst part of this game, in my opinion. And the other things that happen in individuals' personal life, that's part of life. It's never going to stop. I think just the most important thing is just to be there and make sure the energy and the focus and everything stays constant, and at the end of the day, it's about winning in San Francisco, and that's all we're really worried about. But yeah, these things happen sometimes more than others.
John Michaud with The Athletic. What specifically would you have to see from Micah for you to be like, all right, he can play Sunday?
Well, there's always a threshold of return to play. So he's not over that threshold yet. So until he can get out there and and cut it loose, I think when you have veteran players, the general is if they don't practice on Saturday, they're not going to play in the game. So if you're looking for a finish line, it would be a full participant, player in Saturday's practice. You'll obviously like to have them go in pads first, and on a Thursday. But Mike has played a lot of football for us. Has a high understanding of our defense. That's kind of a general approach that I've always taken.
Sauce with The Athletic. Mike, what else do you need to see from your tight end room, particularly Luke? For him to take that next step, and obviously speaking outside of Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, Jake is the veteran. Jake's been consistent, and really the young guys are really the rest of the room. All three of those guys remaining are all very, very inexperienced. Just continue to grow, continue to work. They're very diligent. We have the young guy meetings at 7 a.m. They're all in there bright and early. They actually do it every day, so they're doing all the extra. Just stay after it. It's really the same answer for all of our young players. Young players need to practice every day. They need to play in games. They got to, do all the little things, and that's what this league is really built on. Is the development. You always want it to go faster than maybe it does, but Luke's just got to keep playing. Stay healthy. He's had some setbacks medically, in his time. He's overcome them, but just being out there every day and hitting it and getting it.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. How difficult has it been just to get a pass rush going, because you don't have Micah, you don't have DeMarcus and some other guys?
Well, I think like anything, when you look at the third down, the pass rush, you can make a case based off statistics that the pass rush discipline is higher. Just if you look at the number of the number of scrambles that we've had against our defense, just number wise, pure, but obviously you got to go deeper in that. And when you evaluate those things, but yes, we're not, we're staying in our lanes, doing a better job keeping the quarterback in the pocket. There's not as many quarterback runs that we've had in the past, so I think we're doing a good job of not running high and wild, behind the quarterback. So we're doing a better job there, and it's something we always need to continue to work on. But yes, I think when you think about pass rush, the first thing is what's the down distance on third down. So we got to get them in more third downs, number one, and B, obviously we want to be 6+, and that's with the challenge on first and second down. That's going to be a huge challenge because this team 49ers is probably one of the best first and second down offenses out there. So our ability to win first and second down will be huge. Will be huge Sunday night.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Mike, both your offense and Kyle Shanahan's offense, they're very different schematically, stylistically, but both Brock Purdy and Dak are two of the highest in the league in tight window throw percentage. So for two offenses that have been successful for a long time, for them and for you, what do you think is creating those tight window throws at the higher levels?
I mean, that's a very general question based off a very general statistic. Actually the origins of the offense really come from the same family, if you really want to get down to it. But as far as the passing game, I think those type of statistics, which our analytics department, I think they do an excellent job of. Take the tight windows, take the spread formations and all those things and look at it. And there's deeper filters that you have to look at. So I don't know how you can sit there and ask the question when you don't look at all the factors involved. Because their numbers are very good. And if we're talking about throwing the ball, we're second, third in the league in pass offense too. So I think, there's more to those statistics, So situational involvement is very high in those evaluations too. It's 6 games. That's another thing. So, but okay, I'm tired of playing badminton. Is that good enough? Is that a good enough answer there?
Yeah.
Coach Sydney Staples, D210 Sports. Kyle Shanahan mentioned that Deebo Samuel might be a go this Sunday.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Kyle Shanahan said that Deebo Samuel might be a go this Sunday. How do you kind of approach preparing for a game plan that might have him and might not?
You have to prepare for him. I mean, he's a dynamic player. He's dangerous because he's able to be productive from so many different spots on the field. So, I mean, that's our approach. We're preparing for him to play. I think he should rest, based on what I'm told. But, but we're preparing for him. So.
Aaron Cousins, so we talked a little bit about Tyler Guyton, but Tyler Smith obviously had to swing to the tackle. How do you balance him with a guy like that, keeping him at the position that he was an All-Pro at versus maybe using this?
Yeah, it's not what you want to do, but it's part of the rotations. Every one of those guys pretty much you have to play different combinations. So, and a lot of it too is just in the footwork and the group and the individual periods you work at. We do a lot of post-practice work that's really detailed to the individual. If for instance, Tyler would be working, the footwork and things at left tackle because he's not going to get the reps during practice because it's important for him to play left guard, but it's also important for him to play next to Tyler Guyton too. I mean, that's the combination of the work with the guy next to you is something that we just can't get enough of, just because I think we're green in a number of spots, starting up front. So, all those 2-man, 3-man combination blocking scheme, pass rush opportunities, they're vital to our development right now.
Just to be clear, Tyler Guyton is back in left tackle this week.
He's been practicing there.
You guys are bottom of the league in big plays. How do you generate more big plays? And is that something you're focused on doing?
Yeah, definitely. It's something you take a really good look at. I mean, obviously the run game is very low, and the passing game. So you just break it down first and second down. I think clearly that's where we got to be better at. The first and second down, and some of the things that we can definitely do better in that area.
Patrick. Hey, Mike. Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. From an offensive line standpoint, you guys have had games where you blocked well and games where not so much. Going against a 49ers team that doesn't blitz often because they don't need to. They are effective getting pressure with their front four across the board. What's the challenge there in trying to force them to bring an extra blitz to bring the guy out of coverage to kind of help the passing game?
Yeah, I think really their defense, and it has been, really starts up front. Obviously they got excellent players on all three levels, but it starts up front, and their line movement is something that's definitely a weapon for them. Line movement is something that we're really focused on. We've been seeing it all year. It really started in week one, and it makes sense. You start two rookies, so we've been seeing more line movement than we've seen in the past. So yeah, we're just working at it. Looking forward to the challenge.
And how can going up against guys like Myles Garrett and those off defensive lines, T.J. Watt, kind of help contribute to what you guys might be able to do against the 49ers?
It means so much to our guys, and really for Tyler Guyton, Cooper Beebe. I mean, they just need to keep working, keep playing. I mean, the level of experience through their game reps has been so valuable. So that's why we talk about ability all the time as a player. The most important ability is availability. So just to stay available, make sure you're out there every day working. Do the early stuff, the meetings, and just don't miss games. That's critical for any young player.
Finish up with that.
Mike Edwarder, WFA. You guys have won a lot of games the last 3 years. You're 3-3 and not really functioning particularly well in any area. How would you describe or characterize your team's focus and intensity and sense of belief that they can still accomplish their goals?
Well, I think we're a team that's growing. And I think that's really where we were coming out of training camp. You could see it in Oxnard. We did a lot of good things, but our inexperience, whether it's a young player or a new veteran that's arrived at the time he's arrived. I mean, you got to keep working for those things together. But yeah, the belief, the energy, and all that. That's trust me. What goes on outside of the locker room is not an illustration of what's going on in the locker room. I mean, the practices. The way they go about it, the energy that they bring, going right. But that's not a clear picture of our football team. We've won 3 games on the road, and we're getting ready to go win our 4th. I mean, that's our mindset. That's the way we look at this. I think it's, I think the value of being accountable is important, but also brings almost a higher scrutiny, because I think our guys do a really good job of being upfront and answering the questions. I mean, there's also, you may not need to answer the questions as much as our guys do, but I think our guys are very, very accountable, and I appreciate that, and I'm proud of them for that. But yeah, all these things about what we're not doing right is not an illustration of our football team. It definitely does not reflect the confidence and belief that we have. So, this is a very good team. It's tough to play out there in Sunday night football, so we're really looking forward to going to get this 4th win.
Thank you.
Thank you.